Have you ever met someone who would do anything just to make people look at them? We all know that one person who cannot stand being ignored. They talk over everyone else, wear the brightest colors, and demand the spotlight at all times. They think being noticed makes them powerful. In a muddy pond deep in the emerald forest, a tiny frog named Pip believed the same thing, and it got him swallowed whole. Pip was not a large frog. He was not a strong swimmer, but Pip possessed a chest that could puff out to the size of a ripe tomato, turning a brilliant, burning red. While the other green frogs sat still on lily pads, catching flies and staying camouflaged in the algae, Pip needed an audience. He craved the stares. If 3 frogs gathered to croak a gentle evening song, Pip would jump into the center of the muddy bank, expand his bright red chest, and screech at the top of his lungs. He drowned out every other voice. The older frogs would shake their heads and slide back into the safe, murky water. They knew the rules of the wild. Blending in keeps you alive. Standing out makes you a target. But Pip hated blending in. Being ordinary felt worse than being invisible. One blistering afternoon, a massive swarm of delicious golden dragonflies hatched above the pond. Hundreds of frogs hopped out of the reeds to feast. The pond was crowded with green bodies, a perfect sea of camouflage against the muddy basin. Pip saw the massive crowd. He did not see a feast. He saw the biggest audience of his entire life. This was his moment. If he could jump high enough and sing loud enough, every single frog would have to stop and stare at his glorious red chest. The ordinary green frogs stayed low in the water, flicking their tongues at the dragonflies. Pip ignored the food. He wanted the fame. Pip spotted a tall, pale piece of driftwood sticking straight up from the mud. It offered no cover. It stood bare in the open sun. It was perfect. Pip scrambled up the dead wood, climbing higher and higher until he reached the very top. He looked down at the hundreds of green frogs blending into the pond. He took a massive gulp of air. His chest swelled up tight. It turned a glowing neon red, shining like a bright lantern across the dull water. Then, Pip released a croak so deafening and obnoxious it vibrated the reeds. He shrieked again and again. Every frog stopped eating. Every frog turned to look at the glowing red dot screaming back at the sky. Pip swelled with pride. He had their attention. He was the star. He was also exposed to the entire forest. A shadow shifted in the tall grass. A hungry king cobra, unfazed by the normal quiet croaks of the pond, heard the blaring siren of Pip's voice. The snake lifted its head. It did not have to search for food today. A bright red, noisy meal was waving like a flag on top of a stick. As the giant snake slithered over the mud, the boring green frogs sank into the water, vanishing without a trace. Pip was too busy screaming for applause to notice the shadow rising behind him. The jaws opened. The spotlight went dark. The loudest singer is always the first one found in the dark. Craving the spotlight might get you noticed, but desperate attention attracts the kind of predators who just want to consume you. If you know someone who needs a reminder to stay humble and keep a low profile, send them this story. Hit that like button to support our channel and make sure to subscribe for more hard lessons from the wild.